Hello again and welcome back to the Daily Rundown with me, Dan Morfitt. I'm joined on the Blue Bonquette now by Andrew Grantham from Animals Intuition. Thank you for coming back.
Hello once again.
Yeah.
Nice to see you.
You've been on the show before. Last time you brought a python, a gecko with beautiful toes and a millipede.
That's right,
which was fascinating. And I really wanted you to come on again because the first time round I said don't bring a spider in.
You did. I wasn't allowed. That was definitely off limits last time.
But tonight you brought in Charlotte.
I have indeed, yes.
A big tarantula.
She's not a big tarantula.
Okay.
But she's a friendly tarantula.
Still looks big from me.
I think that's key.
Now, your job with Animals Intuition is to go around schools and colleges and workplace and even parties sometimes, showing off a wide range of animals to show how great they are, how diverse they are, and what we should be really doing to care for them.
Yes, indeed, yeah. So it's really important. I think especially recently in the news, breaking about the licences for varying amounts of animals. It's really, really important, even if you're going to keep something really obscure, that you do your homework first. And I always say to the children, if you're going to get something, that's great, but you've really got to know how to look after it properly, what things it needs to stay nice and healthy, and what sort of things to feed it, what sort of environment to provide. So it's really important to do your background first. Almost
becoming an expert on what you're going to care for.
Yeah, I think so, yeah, definitely.
And tonight, the animals that you brought in are from around the world. We've got Africa, Australia, South America represented.
Yeah.
Let's start with what looks like a big bowl of chocolate chip ice cream with mints.
Okay.
Wallace and Gromit.
Wallace and Gromit. So Wallace and Gromit are my sandfish.
Sandfish.
So the name sounds like they're going to be a fish, but actually
that's not water, is it?
It's definitely not water. In fact, in the wild, these guys live in towards the edges of the Sahara Desert in North Africa. You can get them moving over to southwestern Asia as well, but mainly North Africa. So do you want to see what we've got in here?
So they're not fish.
They're not fish, no.
They're not made out of sand, obviously.
They're not made out of sand. So we've got Gromit there.
They look half snake, half lizard.
Yep, so they're a little bit of a cross between a snake and a lizard.
Oh, wow.
They usually have smoother scales and shorter legs than a lizard.
Okay.
They are reptiles still, so a nice scaly skin on the outside. The scales actually are really, really shiny. They're fantastically smooth. And obviously that aids their movement through the sand.
And I'm guessing they're all smooth and shiny because that's basically like an exfoliating face rub.
Yeah.
The sand.
So they do shed the skin, interesting like other reptiles, but I think these guys have got a big advantage given that the habitat where they live is like a big exfoliating system for them.
Wallace is the lighter one.
Wallace is the lighter coloured one. He's slightly bigger as well. He's been over the heat mat actually, so he's a little bit more energetic than he was before. And he's got Gromit's got a slightly different pattern on his tail as well. If you can see, I don't know whether you can see down there.
Can I hold one of these sandfishes?
You can. So we might go for Gromit this time actually because it's a little bit cooler. So I don't know whether you can get a close up of the sand anywhere, but see Wallace go in.
This is fantastic.
So we'll let him go after 3. 1, 2, 3, go. And he's gone.
That's gone.
So pretty awesome.
So Wallace has gone back.
Wallace has gone back. So you've got Gromit here. So we'll see if we can get him just to rest on your hand.
Come here, Gromit. Now, looking at this, they've got these massive claws, but I'm guessing they sort of act like paddles.
So they are. They're really long and bendy, so they're not like a really sharp claw. We've got the next animal, Basil. You'll be able to see the difference. So he has really hooked claws. He's got nice long bendy toes and use them like a paddle in the sand. It does vary, the opinions on how they move. Some people say that they fold the legs in and they move a bit like a snake, wriggling through the sand. But when they dive in, you can see the front feet working really hard. So
they are almost swimming in the sand.
I'm of an opinion that they do actually use those toes like paddles.
And you say when they're living in the desert, they just stay in a particular sort of layer of sand where it's not too hot, not too cold?
Yeah. So there's a point in the sand where the temperature's not going to change very much. So these guys being cold-blooded, they have to regulate their own body temperature by moving to a hot or a cold place. So they can basically bury under the sand, and depending which level of the sand they go down into, depends on how hot or cold they're going to be. So
I'm guessing with these
very clever.
They're not endangered, as there must be so many of them.
Well, I'd say probably too numerous to count, really, pretty impossible to count. You just saw him stick his tongue out there just to sense you a little bit. So they are insectivores in the wild, living on insects and bugs. One of the really clever things that these guys do is they get their moisture that they need. They hydrate themselves using the water in their food. so they don't need any additional water.
They don't. And do they have to come up for air often?
No, so they can breathe under the sand as well. So the bodies are very cleverly designed to be able to allow them to breathe. It's like almost inside and outer skin. They can breathe without the pressure of the sand stopping them breathing, and the nostrils are designed to take in air without the sand blocking their airways as well. So when it comes to adapting to an environment, these have got it nailed in my opinion.
So they're
absolutely fabulous.
They are like smooth like a snake, but they've got the body attributes of a lizard.
Yeah, they have.
Amazing.
Yeah. So they tend to move a bit lower down. So a lizard normally raises itself up to move around. The skinks tend to move with the bellies quite close to the floor. And I'd say really efficient in maintaining sort of moisture in the bodies, and they don't need a lot of oxygen actually. The lungs are very efficient too.
Well, we'll let little Gromit go back into the pistachio coloured sand.
Excellent.
Thank you for that. See you later, Gromit.
Fantastic. So I'll let Gromit go back in there.
And he's gone. Amazing.
Love them. Absolutely brilliant.
So what's next?
So next we're going to Australia. We're going to meet Basil. Basil is a bearded dragon lizard.
Are we disturbing him now? Because he looks...
Well, he might be having a little doze there. Yeah, well, he's just about coming round, but he's getting quite old now. He's about 7.5, maybe coming up to 8 years old. And they usually live for about 9 or 10 years in the wild. But he's one of my, one of my favourites really. I keep saying that, don't I? But they are
literally
all
your children.
All my favourites, they are, yeah. So he does like to doze a lot, especially if you stroke the top of his head like that. He will just close his eyes and drop off to sleep. He's absolutely fabulous. So you can hold him on your hands.
Yeah.
So the difference, you mentioned the claws on the sandfish, they're quite they have got them, but they're sort of quite long and bendy to enable swimming through the sand. So if you look at Basil's hook claws there, so they're quite long and hooked, so they're designed to climb. So these guys will go into maybe partway up a tree, onto some rocks, and they'll bathe and bask in the sunshine. So again, being cold-blooded, get their energy from the sun. Got to be somewhere warm if they want energy, somewhere cool if they don't need.
And when you take this to schools, like I'm going to ask the same question because mentally I'm 6, a dragon, what does that mean?
Okay, so yeah, I do get asked that question quite a lot. Does he breathe fire?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't breathe fire. So I think really the dragon side of it is sort of part of the look. They look a bit sort of reptilian and scary. They've got the spikes on the side of the head, and they've got the frilled beard underneath his chin there.
Hence the beard.
Which they can, hence the bearded dragon, which they can change colours depending on mood. So the males, they can all do the colours. The male specifically will inflate the beard. So it's like a huge sack, turn it jet black, and they thrash the head around like this, and that will scare other males away.
Mean the bearded dragon's got a cob on?
Yes, basically, yeah. He's got a bit of a mood. He's not feeling very nice and gracious, so he'll use it to scare all the dragons away.
What's he got tonight? Because I don't think he's got a cob on.
No, he's fine. His beard's nice and flat there. So,
can I...
Yeah, you can have a little go if you want.
Him?
So we can drape him on your hand if you like.
And come on, Basil. Is that best? Oh, hello, lovely.
So he'll find somewhere comfy there.
Because last time we brought in a gecko and they were feeling a bit sticky, and this is lovely and spiny, and he's
quite a soft underbelly.
Yeah.
Very, very tough scale on the top. The scales do lay that way, so if you try and stroke upwards, you will spike your finger, and it's very uncomfortable for them as well. So they've got that nice, tough, thick scale to help protect them.
So not that way, this way.
So head to toe, yeah.
And does he shed a skin like a snake and like the sandfish?
He will shed his skin, yeah. It doesn't usually come off on one piece like a snake. It will come off on pieces, but yeah, they do shed the skin to grow, and they get some nice, vibrant colours when the new skin appears.
Do you think Basil's enjoying this?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he loves the stroke and being petted. He's very chilled out. He'll just sit there all night. And
like you said, he's got a very, very soft underbelly. Is that a good thing for them to have? Does that mean they can get to tighter places, or?
Not specifically, no. But his main protection that he'll need will be on the top. They can inflate themselves up a little bit like a ball as well, and these spikes on the side, which feel a bit like rubber at the moment, they'll become a little bit more spiky. If he inflates up, he'll blow himself up and.
What do they get filled up with? Is it air?
Just air.
Wow.
So they're fantastic creatures. They do look very prehistoric, very popular in the schools that we go to, because I think the boys like it because he looks a bit like a dinosaur. That's the key. But they're fantastic creatures. Quite difficult to look in terms of care if you're looking to get as a pet. The temperament-wise, they're fantastic. They'll just sit. They love being petted. you spend a lot of time with them, they'll get to know your voice, get to know the sound of your voice. So when you go and feed them,
So
they'll know
almost
the
loyal.
stuff, come in and look at you. Yeah.
Better than a cat then.
I think so, yeah.
But
yeah.
I know.
But a lot of heat requirements with them, so you need a basking area where they can go to warm up, as they would in the wild, and you need a cool end as well, so if they need to cool down, they can go somewhere nice and cool.
So you need quite a big area then?
Yeah, need a nice big vivarium, yeah, end to end there's got to be a good temperature gradient. You need a UV bulb as well, which will give them all some of the vitamins that they need.
He's too cute.
And he's quite a varied diet as well, so these guys will eat fruits and vegetables, so things like cabbage, rocket, spinach, green grapes, he loves melon, blueberries, that kind of thing. But also you've got worms as a treat, mealworms, black worms, and he'll also eat crickets. Some of them eat locusts, but he doesn't like locusts for some reason.
Would he eat mice and stuff like that?
Not normally, no.
Too big for him?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose you could technically give him pinky mice, the little tiny ones, but no, he does like his fruit and veg, actually. He's a big fruit and veggie.
So
definitely.
Basil, our bearded dragon, gets his 5 a day?
He does indeed, yes.
And he's holding onto my hand, it's lovely.
Yeah, he's like almost like he's cupping your finger there, isn't it?
Let's put Basil back, because I think it's almost time for him to go to sleep. Basil, do you want to say goodbye to everyone? Yeah, okay. I'll give you back Basil. Thank you, Andrew.
Brilliant.
He's lovely.
Fabulous.
And last, but by no means least, she was the one who said, excellent pig, brilliant pig, in Charlotte's Web.
Yes, indeed.
This isn't really Charlotte, is it?
It's not, no. This is just our Charlotte.
Okay.
So I have brought as well, just for you to have a little look at, just to break you in gently,
Okay.
Dan, I've brought the old exoskeleton. So Charlotte, she molted, they call it a molt with a spider. She molted about 2 years ago, and that's the exoskeleton that came off.
So touching this won't...
No, so it's very delicate now, it's not a bit brittle, but...
Still quite fine and hairy.
Yeah, so it literally, everything just comes off. Absolutely fabulous.
So that's what Charlotte used to wear.
Yeah.
Let's
so
see
now
what
she's
Charlotte's
got
wearing now.
a new coat. So I know you're a little bit nervous last week.
I used to never be frightened of spiders. And then I moved into a house with lots of them. And then they suddenly scare the heck out of me. But I don't think I'll get many tarantulas.
No.
Hello, Charlotte.
So this is Charlotte, and she's a 9-year-old Chilean rose tarantula. She's not particularly big, you can get them much, much bigger. And indeed, the big Goliath bird-eating tarantulas will grow to this sort of size.
Are they the ones that have the trapdoors and...
you can get trapdoor spiders as well.
Okay.
So they're all, I think there's about 9,000 species of spiders now. Wow. So, but I think probably one of the most beautiful.
And we've gone from Africa with the sandfish, Australia with a bearded dragon, and now in South America with Charlotte.
So
obviously Chilean
rose, the clue's in the name. So they tend to live in very dry areas, scrubland, or the scrub as they call it. And they are a burrowing species usually, so they'll dig burrows, holes in the ground.
And we've seen Wallace and Gromit together. Basil can have friends. I'm guessing spiders as solitary. Yeah,
so Basil normally put a male and a female together if you're going to put them together. So males would fight, but Charlotte, completely solitary. Doesn't like friends, doesn't play well with others.
Will she play well with me? She won't bite me or anything?
No,
Do they bite?
She's really round. They can potentially bite. Tarantula venom, there's a big misconception that tarantulas are killers. They're not actually killers. I don't think there's ever been a recorded death from a tarantula bite.
Well, fingers crossed.
The venom is a little bit like a bee sting, so it's a very mild venom on tarantulas.
Okay.
But she won't bite, honestly.
She won't bite?
She's seen thousands of children.
How's best to take Charlotte?
If you can hold her on 2, that might be better. Just give her a little bit more room to move around and find a nice spot. And we'll try and get her to stop still and then...
Come on, you beautiful little hairy thing. Oh, that's weird.
You okay?
So
it's a bit, I always say to people who've never done it before, it's a bit like tapping your hand with a pipe cleaner, the end of a pipe cleaner, just gently.
And hello, Charlotte.
If she does move, you can just gently put one hand underneath, and then she'll just walk onto that other hand then.
So what's she looking at me with? Eyes?
So she has got eyes, 8 eyes. I'm just trying to get her the other way so you can have a little walk with her. So just put it, that's it.
Hello.
So they have 8 eyes, but they have pretty poor vision. So a lot of spiders, especially what we call the terrestrial ones that live on the ground, have pretty poor eyesight. So she can tell light and dark.
Oh, she's going on my arm.
Yeah, just put your other hand under there. That's it.
Hello,
so
Charlotte.
Light and dark and movement is what she can detect with her eyes. So she doesn't have sort of really good vision as we have.
Okay. Do you want to take her back?
There.
She is lovely. I was absolutely...
Have another go on your hand if you like, to sit still.
Yeah, papping myself ahead of this.
Yep.
But, yeah, it's not like a spider in a bath.
No.
And what would Charlotte eat?
So Charlotte eats...
Not me.
Fairly large crickets. She usually eats one on a Tuesday, one on a Friday. So she doesn't have a massive appetite. And all the food for these guys is a liquid. So they can't munch and chew, they don't eat solid food.
Okay.
So when they inject the venom will usually paralyse the prey, but then turns it into a liquid, which you can then suck out.
Is there any chance that Charlotte's been near any radioactivity recently?
No.
So no,
you're okay.
No chance of becoming
I don't
Spider-Man.
think, Dan, you're going to end up jumping around the studio and that's it. Hold on.
Well, Andrew,
put your other hand there.
From
That's it.
Animals Intuition, so glad you come back in, because the animals you've shown us tonight are absolutely beautiful.
See, you're looking like an expert with Charlotte now. From last week, not wanting to meet her, and now you're going great guns. Look at that.
Oh, I could have one of these.
She is fab. They can live for sort of 15 to 20 years at a maximum. But I think they're great pets. Say she feeds one bug on a Tuesday, one on a Friday. You have got to be careful though, because they're in an enclosure, not in the wild. If she doesn't eat the bugs within sort of 24 hours, you've got to take them back out because the bugs can start to nibble and chew the legs.
Oh, let's not.
So I say to the children at school, imagine if you've left some broccoli on the side of your plate. Has anybody ever had a problem with the broccoli jumping up and trying to bite them?
And do you ever wake up to big webs from?
Not normally. They will spin a web when they're about to molt or shed, and it's like a bed on the floor, and they'll flip themselves on the back on the middle of the bed, partly for protection, maybe a little bit for comfort, and then she'll gradually wriggle out of the old exoskeleton. And you can use webs in the wild to catch the bugs, but at home she doesn't tend to spin very much.
She even makes a bed in the morning. Andrew, I'll let you take Charlotte back. Thank you so much. And if you want to find out more about these animals, we put Andrew's Twitter address on the bottom of the screen. Andrew, thank you so much for coming in again.
Excellent, that was so cool.
I'm just interested to see what more you've got.
Fantastic.
Right. Right, after the break, we get serious. David and Drew have the chance to get something off their chest. It's their something to say next here on the Daily Rundown.